Hey everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and today I'm bringing you a very silly painting that I'm going to be explaining how you can create for yourself at home, step by step. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hello.
He is helping me bring these fun classes with you by making sure the cameras are pointing at what I'm doing. I'm going to explain every color mix, every tool, every brush stroke that created this fabulous, fun noodle guy. This is part of a 31-day painting challenge that I'm doing this August, where every single day I get together with my community and we paint a whole new painting. So if that sounds exciting to you, you may have just discovered your next fun painting challenge. If you're here for the painting challenge, I want you to pat yourselves on the back. If you've got questions during the premiere, remember to put your questions all in caps. We will not think you are at all yelling at us. We'll make sure that we get those questions answered live during that show. I am going to show you how to draw this cutie patootie.
Right.
But there is a traceable on the website if you don't like drawing and it takes away all the joy out of your art. I don't expect you to do it. So there's a traceable, but I do think that you could probably draw your own fun little duder with me. And really, there's nothing to do but do our middle of the week painting. Get your brushes, get your paints, come back and meet me right now. We're going to paint this strange, fun guy. So for today's fun project, I have an 8x8 surface. On my palette, I have the colors Mars Black, Cad Yellow Medium, Cad Red Medium, Quinacridone Magenta, Ultramarine Blue, Phthalo Blue, Dioxazine Purple, Phthalo Green, and Titanium White.
All right.
So that's our fun colors for today. And we're going to begin with a step one, and step one is going to be tons of fun. Step one.
Into it.
And we're going to just paint the whole canvas purple.
Now, is there a special technique that you're using here of direct application onto
I
the
am
surface?
just being silly. You
It's
can
just-
absolutely paint from your palette to your canvas, but sometimes I enjoy...
It's like deep purple.
Yeah. So this is the Dioxazine Purple, and I'm going to paint the whole canvas with this purple. I'll use an angle brush. This is a 3/4 inch angle brush.
It just went total smoke on the water.
Yeah, because I misted it out with some water. I misted it.
That was cool.
Maybe too much water, but I misted it out with some water. Sometimes I just don't want to go from the palette to my painting when I'm doing a solid canvas. So I want to just
That's
smooth
incredible.
all that out and then paint the edges around. Because if you're framing or whatever, you definitely want to have those edges framed. And then what we're going to do is we're going to dry it, and when we come back, I'm going to show you what we do next. So once the surface is completely dry, I'm going to take a tool. This is a chalk sketching tool. This is a Taylor's chalk tool. I get these from Joann's, and it's got the white chalk in it. You could just use the regular kind of chalk that you have on a chalkboard. We just want something that's removable that we can sketch with. So I'm going to, if you've got the traceable, this is when you would do the transfer method on, but I'm going to show you guys how to draw this fun character yourselves. So I'm going to come up, I'm going to kind of scale in how big I want my character to be. Come over kind of from the side and a hand, and about a hand's width there. So just knowing the width of that character. And then I'm going to draw two big eyes that are separated by a little bit of space. So two big circles next to each other. About a hand down from the top and hand from the side, maybe half a hand over here. Then I'm going to join the two eyes up top. And then we're going to take a little line that's going to come down. Little bit of a curve. I'm going to come down here. Little bit of a curve. I might want that to be, I want it to be wider. I don't want it to taper too much. You can see I can erase with my finger. So these lines are kind of like little parallel lines right here. And then I'm going to make my open mouth. Couple little pupils for eyes, and I'll put the arms in later right? So I just want to get the sketch in with my chalk at first. And then once it's in with my chalk, I'm going to take a round brush and I'm going to just sketch it in real fast with this paint. Just so that when I'm painting the background, I don't lose my little design of my character. And actually everything here, I'm going to paint inside the eyes. I might leave these little purples out so I remember where they are.
Right. With traceable, you could always just like go back and redo that.
Yeah, when you have you go back with the traceable and just redo it. And I'm going to come back here and kind of just paint these white and paint the inside of him white. I'll just paint it all white. Mess with it. It's very easy to put the little pupils back, so I'm not going to worry about it too much.
Right.
And then this is my number 6 round I did this with. This is a number 6 round sepia round brush. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go back into my 3/4 inch angle brush and I'm going to get it with a little bit of clean water. And I'm going to just go inside and just real fast paint all of this.
Just fill it
with white. Because we're going to come back over with these bright, bright colors.
That'll make it a lot easier.
It'll make it a lot easier. It doesn't even have to be that tidy. And this will really help you if you're painting with a paint that's maybe not as covering as mine.
Yeah.
This will help you get good coverage on your paint. And you got a nice little opening for the mouth. All right, so we're going to dry that craziness and we'll come back. I'm going to show you what you do next. So I'm going to continue on with my 3/4 inch angle brush. And I'm going to take a little bit of my white over to my ultramarine blue. I'm going to smidge in. That's a small amount of the quinacridone. I'm just exaggerating the purple blue that this is. And I'm going to just dry brush horizontally and vertically and loosely around my figure this light purple color, allowing a good amount of the underneath purple to show through. Kind of at an angle that time. You can see that this is quite energetic. I'm leaving a lot of dark value down low. And I'm lightening the upper value up a little bit with this dry brushing. And take it right up over the eyes. Okay, now I'm going to pull out a little bit of my quinacridone here. I'm going to get a little bit of my white involved. I'm going to add a smidge of yellow. You could also add cad red to get kind of a similar warm pink, but I'm just getting a warmer pink. Scribbling that out there. Light brushing and scribbling it out here. You see that I'm just leaving a lot underneath. Sometimes I'll come up over my little character here. And that's just so that, you know, the brush stroke can go behind. lightly dry brushing. Okay. So to do the next layer, the way I want it to layer, I'll need this layer to be dry. So we're going to call this crazy layer a step as well. And come back, I'll show you what you do next. So I've got my little scumbly layers out here, and I'm going to take a little bit of my phthalo blue and my phthalo green together. I'm going to mix them almost 1 to 1. And I'm going to add a little bit of white to that. Kind of loosely bring this around here. And loosely means I'm not creating a particular structure to the mix. And I am going over my figure a little bit. And I'm going to wipe off my brush on a towel, and I'm going to come get a little more of my white into this, making a nice lighter color. I'm going to get a little yellow. Kind of takes it into that vintage aqua. And putting a little bit of this light color around. Now I need to be able to dry brush it around too, and my underlayer is a little bit wet. I don't want it to be a whole new step, but just real quick, I'm going to dry this so I can continue painting the light blue over it and not having it mixed too much with the darker blue underneath. So that's why I'm going to dry here, but it's not a whole new step. So I'm going to continue on with this. I'm going to get a little more white out and mix an even lighter color here.
The white gets polluted very quickly.
It does get polluted very, very quickly. I'm going to just lightly dry brush horizontally and vertically a little bit of this kind of aqua color. Kind of keeping those little patterns random. So there's a bit of almost abstractness to this, I think.
I think so too. I like the kind of
little horizontal and vertical little brush strokes.
It's not bokeh, but it's like cartoon bokeh.
It's like cartoon bokeh. This is a bit of an almost outsider art piece here again, which we do these on occasion. I'm going to add a little bit of let's get a little bit of that blue-green down here. Kind of layer it over the pink again. That's pretty energetic.
I agree. Is very energied.
And get back into the darker blue-green anywhere I need to. So it's easy just to layer and mix that up a lot. Now, for the next layer, I do want everything to be dry. And my brush to be thoroughly cleaned out. So let's clean out our brush and dry our canvas. When I come back, I'm going to show you the next step. So let's continue to add some of this exciting color back here. I'm going to take a little bit of my quinacridone and mix it in with my Cad Red Medium. And get a lot of white. I'm going to let that coral up a little bit more. And I'm going to come put some pink back. Get into the other pink. Put some pink back into this composition. Just little pops of pink. Just because I want that layering there. And when you want that layering, you want that layering. I'm going to rinse my brush out thoroughly. We'll go ahead and just load up with some red. And I'm going to make a little downward square. Come across. A little bit there, a little bit of a square there. A little bit here.
How do you know where just the little bits need to go?
I'm looking for elements of balance. So I've got a lot of red weight here, and to counterbalance it, I'm going to put a little red weight down here. So I'm looking for all the places where through color I can create weight.
Like drawing your eye kind of weight?
Yeah, like drawing your eye kind of weight, kind of bringing you in closer. Let's take a little bit of our yellow and our green together. I might add a bit of white to it. Put some color out here. Maybe this one's a little bit at an angle. I like layering that green over that pink just because that'll be an interesting little layer.
It is an interesting layer.
And kind of come in and maybe make a skinny mark here.
Oh, yeah.
Like two little musical notes.
A little different.
Just a little something there to make it interesting. Because this is our middle of the week freak out painting.
Right.
This is our, oh no! What did I decide to do with my life? And I take a little bit of my yellow and red together. I'm going to add some orange. Kind of layer those together. All right, those are some fun little pops of color. And so those are almost like, it feels like exactly like cartoon bokeh, lights, confetti. Just gives that sort of colorful energy that we want. Now I want everything dry, dry, dry. Rinse up my brush and put it to the side. When we come back, I'm going to show you what you do next. So I want to add in the arms right now. I'm going to grab my number 6 round and I'm going to load up some white paint. And I'm going to kind of make a little line. Just coming downward. And little pom-poms going out. So that's our first little noodle man, kind of army pom-pom.
I can see it.
Can you see it?
I can see it.
You can see it. Now I'll bend that little arm out just a little bit. Kind of coming out crazy. This reminds me of Beaker.
I was going to say it kind of gave me a Phineas and Ferb kind of vibe.
Also Phineas and Ferb. It's got some Phineas and Ferb to it. But what we really want it to be is a little wild, a little zany, a little wacky. And that's what's nice about that is that's pretty chill thing to do. I'm going to come here and just sort of improve my line on my eyes just a little bit. You can kind of see even with that cleaning up now where it's coming out of the ugly duckling stage. And well, it's never going to be a swan. It's always going to be a goofy duck.
I kind of like it.
But we like it and we like who it is, so we're going to go with it. Come here and kind of make sure that this is nice and clear. The white painting doesn't need to be perfect. We're just creating a substructure where the bright orange and yellow will look as vibrant as we want to paint them.
Right. They make it sort of pop.
Yeah. I'm just even dry brushing. I'm not worrying about it that much. I'm just cleaning it up a little. Got a little red smooge there. But since this is going to be orange over it, I can just kind of smooth that out and not worry about it.
Smooge it.
Smooge it. Smooge it and not worry about it. Let's dry it. Now that we've got that sort of set in, ready to go, let's dry thoroughly, and then we get to do all the fun stuff next. All right, I'm going to use a smaller angle brush. This is a 1/2 inch angle. And I'm going to start to paint in the bright colors of my noodly dude. I'm going to start with yellow, and I'm going to come on this side. Start brushing in some yellow. Now I will be careful around the eye. Even though it's a light color, and I could definitely paint it back without worrying, you know?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and brush that around, and I might, kind of while I'm here, take the edge of the brush and paint in my little noodle arms. I think sometimes we all feel a little bit like those little dudes outside the car dealerships, waving our little arms.
The little balloon dude?
Yeah. Waving our little arms up in the air. Grab a little bit of orange here. Just start to loosely brush in a little bit of that orange color. The orange is my cad red and my cad yellow. I'm making short little brush strokes.
They kind of make it look cartoony.
Yeah. Might get a little more red under here. Don't worry about being too precious around the mouth, because we're going to put that back in. As I'm coming over towards from the left side's going to be more yellow, more orange, and the right side's going to be more red. Get a little more yellow going. A little more orange up top than red. I'm going to wipe my brush off on a towel, so I'm taking off the extra pigment, right? But there's still some pigment on there.
Yeah.
I'm going to come and grab some just pure yellow. Kind of blend in. Just blending that across. Just blending that over here. You can see it's just kind of creating that fun little shading. So even though we're making a silly character, we're still doing traditional art things.
Just applying those techniques to make that world more real.
Yeah. Come here in my little orange arms. I'm going to add a little bit of orange to them. So they go a little more.
Yeah.
A little more red down here. blendy, 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 blend. Till you're happy with it. And then if you've got to, you just wipe off the extra pigment.
Yep.
Get some yellow going again. So I'm just using a light pressure and I'm allowing the paint to kind of mix on the canvas a little bit. And that's just making it be a more exciting painting. Even though we're being silly, we're still being exciting.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Very blendy.
Blendy, blendy, blendy. So we got some nice like orangey blendies. Rinse that off. And then while I'm here, I'm going to take my number 6 round. I'm taking a drop of water and thinning and improving the flow of the paint. I'm rolling it on my brush. And I'm going to come here and create a little outline in red. Okay, another little excited outline in red. Just creating a nice thin, even outline. All right, for the next part, I want to dry everything thoroughly. So let's dry it all very, very much. I'm going to take my little round brush here and I'm going to get some white paint. And I'm going to very carefully paint in a little white tooth.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a square. And then I'm going to give it a buddy. I like to put a little gap between them.
You gotta have some space to breathe.
And then while I'm here, I'm going to give myself a little bit of white to eventually be the tongue. So it goes bump, bump. I'll also take a little bit of white. And just make sure that the eyes are nice and bright. These are a little different than eyes I've done in the past. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow.
And that painting it white really makes it easy for it to pop now, huh?
Yeah, it makes it much easier for it to pop. Bright little yellow, poof, poof. Another bright little yellow, poof, poof. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my green over here to my yellow. Now brush out a little bit of green energy right there. Green energy. A little bit of green explosion. I'm going to rinse out thoroughly. I'm going to dry everything thoroughly. So now I'm going to take my round brush, my number 6 round, and I'm going to grab a little bit of my black on here. I'm going to swirl it around. And we're going to come in and add, kind of looking towards the right, a small black pupil. small in relationship to the size of the eye. I like to also do one kind of smaller and bigger.
It implies emphasis.
It does emphasize.
Lack of control.
One of those two things. But I like just a slightly different size scape on there. I'm going to come in here and paint that inside of my mouth. Come and outline it on the outside. Get a little bit of that kind of dark shadow in that mouth there. I'm going to come in and grab. I have a bunch of choices I can make, but I think I'll go with my red.
Yeah, the red one.
I could do blue, but I think I'm going to be happier with my red lip. Coming in on the outside of that. Little bit of red lip. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of white on my brush.
I was surprised about that. That's a very interesting. The red lip made it really more comical almost.
Pink tongue. Because that's just sort of fun. To have it be pink in there.
Yep.
And grab a little bit of my yellow. Kind of come back in and yellow up my pom-poms. So they're not so green that they're more yellow. I felt like it was too green.
Yeah, I can see.
So I'm just knocking that green back a little bit to more of a yellow aspect.
Right.
It's not a big deal. Grab a little bit of white on the tip of my brush. Add a little dot there. Add a little dot there. I'm going to get a little black on my brush here. And I'm going to come from this side of the eye. And brush out some wild eyelashes. Touch up any of the black that you think will need a touch up. It's just a silly little painting.
It's perfect.
But sometimes in the middle of a lot of hard work, it's important to do a silly little painting.
Right. Yep.
Because it keeps you from burning out while you're working on your skills. And that is a big trick.
Right.
that it's important for artists to learn how to do. I'm going to grab a number 1 liner. This is a Princeton Select liner. Or I could also use the number 1 Precision. Either one would be fine. And grab a little bit of my white paint with a little bit of water.
Yep.
Come here and go ahead and give this a little signature. There we go. This weirdness is all signed up. All right, when we come back, I'm going to tell you what you do next. So now that you've done today's silly painting, the next thing that you can do is share it with me. I have a group. Actually, I have a couple of groups you can share it with on Facebook. I have the Art Sherpa Official, and that's an all-year group where you can share your paintings that you do in your tutorials with really nice people. It's a great place to share your first painting. It's a great place to get encouragement. There's also the Acrylic April group. So even though this is August, normally I do this challenge in April, and that's the challenge group for this. You can buy and share there, and you're going to get a lot of support and encouragement. I do curate my groups, and I make sure that they have a nice vibe, a nice energy. Yeah, I like to keep them kind of friendly and kind of chill. So that's what you can do. Also, anything you saw in today's lesson is available for sale in my store.
Right.
Because I have an art store. There's my. This video is promoted and supported by my art store.
Right.
My own art store. Also, another way is Patreon. So you can go buy Patreon if you want to become supporters of the channel. And they get extra fun lessons and exclusives just for them. So that's kind of a fun thing that we've got going on. And of course, go by the website and sign up for the newsletter so you don't miss out on this. And be sure and sign up for all of our different communication strategies. Because we have a few. If it's a social media platform, chances are I'm on it. And you can find me with the hashtag #TheArtSherpa. So that's what we've got going on here. Congratulate yourself because you are well into your journey now. This is that fun day where everyone's like, oh, so I like to throw in a silly one, a happy one, just something fun to paint. So you guys remember that in a daily painting, sometimes just a fun painting is what you've got to do.
Right.
And so on that note, be good to yourself, be good to each other, and I will see you at an easel real soon. Bye-bye.